Witnesses, please state your names and occupations for the court. Constable Rolly Beat, SAH. Nothing to report on the streets, sir.
And I'm Mrs. Beat. Patricia's my name. I'm proud to say I'm this young town's hero's wife.
Oh, so young and already married? What's the story here?
Well, in truth, we've not been married long. In fact, we celebrated our first anniversary only the other day.
No, it was your husband I was asking about. He seems tired. Hardly surprising. Was being an honorable occupation, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world. Oh, really? I'm sure I've heard that before, actually.
Indeed, apart from rare days off, our gallant officers charge some 20 miles a day, you know. They patrol boarding houses and pubs, collecting taxes, survey the streets, check that meters are reading true, and they're responsible for keeping the streets clean and lighting and extinguishing our streetlights.
There are a number of items on that list that don't sound much like policing duties at all. I wouldn't just be falling asleep on my feet, I'd have collapsed long ago. But it goes without saying that a policeman's primary duty is the apprehension of criminals. Even when he's off duty, a constable is expected to investigate and resolve any crimes on his beat. Our London Bobby is a man of honor.
Okay. And a man of slumber.
On the day in question, this man and his wife were walking down Briar Road in the opposite direction, and they witnessed the incident as it occurred. Is that not correct, Mr. and Mrs. Beat?
That's right, sir. Isn't it, Rolly?
Constable Rolly Beat, sir. Nothing to report on the streets, sir. Oh, that's supposed to mean sir. Okay, I see. What a great witness he's going to be.
Very good. I'd like to hear your formal testimonies now, please. You will tell the court exactly what you saw on the afternoon of the incident.
Yes, sir.
It was our wedding anniversary and Rolly was taking me out for a meal. There was no time to change after work. Anyway, two silhouettes appeared out of the fog on the pavement in front of us. Oh, all of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor. Then the other scattered something before running off. We ran straight over, of course, and then went for help. At a nearby police box. It was definitely that Japanese man in the dock. Rolly and I both saw him as clear as day.
Okay. Doesn't mention stabbing at all?
Oh, this is extremely compelling testimony, I must say.
Oh dear, this policeman and his wife are claiming to have positively identified Mr. Natsume at the scene. If their testimony is true, the alternative course of events that you established in the summation examination will be quashed.
I don't think my alternative course of events are reality. I don't think. Fact is, we found the books on Briar Road, right? And not on Calabash Road. It's death knell, in fact, because that alternative was never viable in the first place.
What an unfortunate chancing, and on your wedding anniversary too.
Oh, I know, but I still managed to go out for the evening with my man. I thank the Lord for that. Gosh, the life of a London Bobby sounds very hard indeed.
Indeed. However, this cross-examination will be over in minutes. You may well have time to rest this afternoon. What do you mean by that? I learned, friend. The witnesses saw the face of the man fleeing the scene. They are testifying under oath that it was without doubt the accused, Mr. Soteki Natsume. And one of these witnesses is a policeman, no less, so you appreciate the gravity of the situation, I'm sure. The jury is impressed, except that the man's so tired his wife has to do all the talking.
Enough preamble. Counsel for the defense. Commence the cross-examination, please.
Yes, my lord. If he's constantly tired, he wouldn't have seen anything, right? There was no time to change after work, okay. 2 silhouettes, you say. It was definitely that man in the dock. You both saw him as clear as day. That doesn't make any sense. You only saw 2 silhouettes, right?
Hold it!
2 silhouettes.
That's right. They were coming towards us, walking up Briar Road in the opposite direction. There was a rather plump figure, followed by a scrawny, thin-looking man. That does sound exactly like the victim. And like Mr. Natsume. Yes, unfortunately it does. And you're certain that at the time there was nobody else nearby? Oh yes, quite certain. It was dark, but there are streetlights on Briar Road, you see?
Why do they show me I can look around? Okay, but he doesn't react to anything.
There's nobody else around at all, isn't that right, my darling? Darling?
Yes, that's right. Of course, there was a light fog on the ground. A light fog on the ground? But Briar Road is dead straight, and you could see a fairly long way down the pavement. And then there's a street lighting as well. I didn't see any other pedestrian. If Wesley takes a firm hold, your answer, please, Mr. Beat. Are you quite sure of what you've just said?
Yes, sir. As a copper who spends all day every day keeping watch on the streets, I swear to it, sir. I'm as sure as my love for Patricia is true.
Oh, please. Just spare me, please. Spare me, game. Plum figure. Nobody else was nearby.
Oh, Pat. Oh, really?
Spare me, game, spare me. They're still maintaining there was no one else around other than the victim and the attacker. Starting to seem like that must be how it really happened.
It's beginning to seem like there's nowhere to run.
Well, that didn't stop Mr. Natsume, did it? He fled the scene all too convincingly.
Thank you. I believe we have a reasonably clear idea of the situation just before the incident now. What happened in the crucial moments that followed?
Collapsed on the floor. Scattered something before running. That's all correct. You ran straight over.
Hold it!
Was it your husband who went to fetch help?
No, I went. I may not be a police officer myself, but I am the proud wife of one after all. Isn't that right, my darling? My darling?
Yes, that's right. I asked Mrs. Beat to go. I was off duty by that point. But the Bobby's never truly off duty, of course, so I felt obliged to stay and guard the scene.
Very laudable, Mr. Beat. Preserving the scene of a crime is a task of considerable importance.
That's why I sent Patricia, you see. I told her where to find the right police box. Forgive my ignorance, but what do you mean exactly by the right police box? Depends on the crime's location, you see, as to who deals with it. Where the woman was stabbed wasn't actually on my beat. So I told Patricia the way to the police box for the beat the incident fell under so she could go and report it.
I ran there as quickly as I could and asked for help from the boy on duty. There's nothing more potent than a young couple in love working together, you know?
Thanks to your swift response, the case was quickly resolved. The actions of two model citizens.
Oh, please, you're making us blush, isn't you, darling? Darling?
She's so violent.
Yes, sir. What Patricia said, sir.
Let's move on, shall we? Definitely a Japanese man. Saw him as clear as day, even though you only saw his silhouette.
Hold it!
But surely you wouldn't have been able to see his face by the light of the gas street lamps, would you?
Oh, we absolutely could! Us Londoners would have exceptional eyesight, I have you know!
Oh my god, the poor Rolly. Right.
The light from the street lamps was more than enough. And my husband already told you that the fog was only light, didn't he?
Yes, and what of the fog?
We're famous for it across the globe, I believe, but it's an absolute menace to those of us who have to live with it, of course.
Oh, it is. When it's thick, you can't even see the hand at the end of your own arm.
Yes, alright, I take your point. Now, could you stop shaking your husband about?
The constant fog makes our eyes very sharp, you see. That's why we can tell for you for sure and certain that it was that little Japanese man we saw. Can't we, darling? Darling?
Yes, it was the accused, and no mistake. The moustache, the hunchback, the cat-like eyes, the taut mouth, the snub nose, unmistakable, sir. As far as this couple's testimony is concerned, there can't be any question. It was Soseki-san they saw running away from the scene of the crime. So that's it, is it? That's their entire testimony?
What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, I hate to admit it, but on hearing the testimony, it really does seem as though Mr. and Mrs. Beach saw what they say they saw. Mr. Natsume running away from the scene on Briar Road that day.
Yes, I feel the same.
So if that's true, where does it leave us?
The members of the jury are sure to call for a guilty verdict after this testimony.
Oh no, then what do we do?
If Kazuma-sama were here...
What are you trying to say?
I think he would try to find a contradiction somewhere else within
their testimony. What do you mean, somewhere else?
The statement about seeing Mr. Natsume is unequivocal. Calling that into question won't help. But if you could identify some other part of the testimony which appears to contradict the facts, you might be able to discredit them, make the jury doubt if the pair's memory of the day is accurate.
All right.
Put simply, we must focus on finding a discrepancy in these statements somewhere. If we don't, I'm afraid the trial may reach an early and unfavorable conclusion.
Why do I always seem to be so up against it? Okay, then let's press on everything. One of them just collapsed on the floor.
Hold it!
Scattered something? Oh, what do you mean by that?
Oh well, I couldn't quite make out what it was at the time. But then, when we got closer, we realized what it was. Didn't we, darling? Darling!
What? Yes, that's right. There were some old books. I see, old books.
Yes, sir. The culprit had dropped a number of them, all around where the victim lay on the pavement.
Indeed, it's clearly pictured in this photographic print.
Yeah, I know.
That rotten Japanese man did that when he did the deed.
Hold it! Wait, did the deed? You didn't even see that. Let's not forget what it remains to be established that the defendant was indeed the attacker.
But we saw him. It was the man in the dock without question, sir. The moustache, the hunched back, the cat-like eyes, the taut mouth, the snub nose. Everything.
Any more insults you want to throw in?
That's right. He looked down at that poor defenseless woman with those terrifying intense eyes, and then suddenly threw his books onto the pavement and ran away.
I see. This is tough. They seem as though they're telling the truth here.
Really?
I'll remind the court that this unambiguous testimony comes from a policeman and his wife. Now please continue. Yes, sir! So the only statement that I haven't pressed on is the first one. Wedding anniversary, he was taking you out for a meal. There was no time to change after work. What could be problematic in that sentence?
Hold it!
No time to change after work, you say? Are you also a member of the police, Mrs. Beat?
Oh no, sadly not. It's a job for strappy young men only. Women, children, and the elderly can't even apply.
Well, I think you can probably see why children and the elderly can't do the job, can't you?
I think Rowley looks ever so handsome in his uniform. It sits you down the ground, doesn't it, darling? Darling!
What?
I just finished my beat. Pat and I were heading back to the station. I was actually planning on getting changed there.
Is he talking in his sleep? This is creepy.
Oh no, Rowley, I much prefer you in uniform. Sometimes I don't recognize you when I see you in plain clothes.
Okay, someone has a uniform fetish.
Oh dear, that doesn't seem healthy.
It's okay, we don't kink shame anyone here.
Kindly adhere to the point. You were going for a meal after you had finished your beat for the day, correct?
That's right, sir, yes. Although I was fit to drop, to be honest, after spending the whole day on my feet. But policing is my life, sir. As long as I'm the proud owner of this, I'll serve my city and my queen to the end.
What does it say? Metropolitan Police warrant card.
Oh, what's that now? My warrant card, sir, proves that I am a London copper. It has the noble founding principles of the Force written on it, as a reminder to all of us policemen of our sworn duty to patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. Sir, and for such a noble cause, I cover 20 miles every single day without fear and without grumble. And because I know, sir, that the prodding of my boots is all Londoners need to hear to feel safe and secure.
So, fighting crime doesn't appear to be come into it, then.
But sir, just on that one particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Mrs. Beat puts up with a lot being married to a bobby like me. I wanted to show my dear wife how much I care. Ah, Pat. Oh, really? Oh, what a charming couple. The young love is such a joy to behold.
Susato-san, not you too. If a little over the top, perhaps.
And then, kindly describe what happened next.
Oh god. Oh.
Mr. Lawyer, sir, can I ask you something?
Oh, yes, of course. What is it?
Well, you keep asking us all these questions about everything we've told you, so... it seems like you don't believe our testimony. Is that right? Is it? Well, out with it.
Oh my god, what are you doing with your husband? What? No, it's not. It's really not that at all. I'm just a lawyer.
My husband's a policeman, remember? I know what I saw. I remember every last detail, everything. Like, oh, I know. What about the books the man dropped? I could tell you the names of every single one. And you dare to question how reliable my testimony is?
That will do, Mrs. Beat.
No, it won't do it at all. That Japanese liar has no idea what I'm capable of. Even if I decide to forgive him for insulting us, don't think for a minute that Rolly will.
I really didn't mean to cause offense. Please put your husband's fist down.
Perhaps you would like to opportunity to supplement your testimony, Mrs. Beat. Might that appease you?
Oh, thank you, my lord. That would settle things nicely. Wouldn't it, darling?
Okay, you could tell the names of the 4 books he dropped at the scene. Okay, let's hear the names then. Yes, we know that there were books dropped at the scene of the crime, as you say. Those purchased by the accused at a nearby second-hand bookshop on the day in question.
After I'd been to the police box for help, I decided to have a good look over the area for good measure. I am a proud policeman's wife, after all. I did it for Rolly.
And what was your husband doing at the time?
Oh, he was lying face down in the snow, getting some well-deserved rest. He works ever so hard, you know, ever so hard. Don't you, my darling?
Interesting way of guarding the scene of the crime.
Well, Mrs. Beat, seeing as you regaled the court with tales of your powers of recollection, would you be so kind as to recount the titles of the books you observed at the scene?
I'd be happy to. Now, are you all listening? There was the picture of Monsieur Somebody or Other, and what's it, Yearnings? Then there was a meal for someone, and the last one was definitely Thingamy something. You see?
Yes, I see. There are 1 or 2 holes in your memory.
Oh well, they were along those lines, I'm quite sure.
There were indeed books found at the scene with titles along those lines, as you put it.
Well, what did I tell you? So I think it's very mean the way you've been implying that my testimony can't be trusted. Don't you agree, darling? Darling?
Oh, whoa.
Anyone who upsets my Patricia will have me to answer to.
Put your weapon down, my boy! Terrifying. Yes, she really is. So that's it, is it? Okay. So we have to kind of... we also have a book list, right? For the day in question from the second-hand store. Let's see. Oh, but she didn't update her testimony, so I can't even show anything. Okay, well, the picture of Monsieur Lecoq, a meal, something yearnings. She mentioned 4 books though, 4 books. Didn't she? Okay, we have a picture, a meal, and yearnings. Let's press again. Yeah, he was sleeping, we know. Okay, what about books? A picture, a yearnings, a meal, the Thingummies something? What do you mean by the Thingummy something? The Thingummy something? Well, that's not in my list. A Thingummy something. There were only 3 books as well. And what does Van Ziek say? There were indeed books found at the scene with titles along those lines. Okay. Should we object to that? That she mentioned 4 books even though there were only 3? I feel like that's a very weak argument, but maybe that will prove somehow that she is not as astute as she claims to be, or something. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Susato, for your help. Appreciate it. Okay. Let's present the photograph.
Objection!
So you're saying that there were 4 books?
That's right, I remember all of them. The picture of Monsieur Somebody, what's at yearnings, a meal for someone, and the thing gummy something.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Beat. But there is a fundamental flaw in that statement of yours. A fundamental flaw?
Oh no, what flaw?
Simply that, at the scene of the crime, there were only 3 books, not 4.
What?
Have a good look at this photographic print of the scene of the crime. As you can clearly see, there are only 3 books.
But no, that can't be. I saw them. I know what it is. Yes, you can't fool me.
Sorry?
It's that big old lump of a dead body. The lady's so large, her corpse is blocking the view of the 4th book, that's all.
Let's at least try to remember that the poor woman isn't dead, even if we're insulting her size. No, I'm sorry, Mrs. Beat. But Mr. Natsume could not possibly have dropped the 4 books you describe. Also, I mean, there was a police investigation. I'm sure they only found 3 books, right, Lord Van Zieks?
Why not?
Fascinating. And from your short tone, something you can readily substantiate with evidence, I presume. You should be able to. What? Evidence. My worst enemy.
Counsel, you will present evidence to substantiate your claim or withdraw it. What proof do you have?
Yes, a second-hand book receipt. There are only 3 books here. Here you go.
Take that!
The evidence is right here, in the form of this bookshop receipt.
From your books?
Yes, this receipt details Mr. Natsume's purchases that day, but as you can see, only 3 books are listed.
No.
Therefore, Mr. Natsume would have only dropped 3 books at the scene of the crime. Which means that your powers of observation, madam, cannot be relied upon. So it cannot be denied that though you say it was the defendant you saw, you could very well be mistaken.
Oh no! Oh no!
Objection!
It's plainly evident that it is your powers of deduction that cannot be relied upon, my learned Nipponese friend. What? What cannot be denied is that these 2 witnesses saw the accused running from the scene. A fact that you know very well you have no hope of disproving. Oh, he knows our strategy. So you've striven to avert attention from that by dint of some inconsequential discrepancies. Would that be fair? He sees right through me. But your plan has somewhat recoiled against you. What are you talking about? It's quite simple. Let me explain with a toast. To the policeman's wife and her entirely accurate testimony in every respect.
Oh.
see, the matter is not up for debate. At the scene on Briar Road, a total of 4 books were most definitely found.
Objection!
Oh, the police found 4 books? But what about photographic print? It only shows 3 books. Quite right, only 3 can be seen in that print. That print? You mean to say... Oh! It always getting me by surprise. That toss. Allow me to present another one that shows the victim's hand. Oh, it's her book. What does it say? The Lion's Pride. Oh, I don't believe it. It's the 4th book. As you will observe. The 4th book was hidden from view in the original print by the victim's torso. No! Order!
There, you see, look at that, look!
Yes.
It's just like I said, isn't it, my darling? Yes, sir. Patricia's always right, sir.
Oh, that's an unhealthy relationship right there. Let us study the receipt for the books purchased by the accused on the day in question. Mrs. Beat, the titles once again, if you please.
Oh yes, of course, a picture of Monsieur Somebody or other.
The picture of Monsieur Lecoq.
What's it, Yearnings?
Canterbury Yearnings.
A mere for someone?
A mere for Gaboriau, in fact. As the court has just heard, the witness remembers the book titles flawlessly, save for a few minor details. Mrs. B's power of recollection can only be described as exceptional.
Did you hear that, Roni? The gentleman paid me a compliment. Yes, sir. Flawless, sir. Patricia is flawless.
But there are only 3 books on the receipt, and Mrs. B mentioned 4. There's nothing surprising about that. Clearly the 4th book is that which is shown in this photographic print.
I'm sorry, counsel, but does that not seem odd? Why should the 4th book be omitted from the receipt?
It's not odd at all, my lord. As the photograph clearly shows, the 4th book was found in the victim's lodgers. In other words, it belongs to the victim. The victim was holding her own book. I wonder what became of that 4th book. Obviously, it wasn't overlooked by the investigating officers at Scotland Yard. I have it here as evidence.
You will submit that and the aforementioned photographic print to the court, please, counsel.
My pleasure, my lord. Oh, a second photograph. And the 4th book. The prosecution rests. Okay, let's have a look at the evidence. The Lion's Pride. The lady. Oh wait, what the heck is that? You see that? There's a piece missing of the book. Right? It's like torn or burnt or I don't know. Eaten? No idea. And this one. Oh, it is burnt. Or something.
Oh, look at this. The book has been badly burnt.
You're right, you'd never be able to read it in this state, especially not the latter pages.
What a terrible waste. Judging from the scorched edges of the paper, I think the damage must have occurred very recently.
A book recently damaged by fire. Why does that seem to raise a red flag with me? Wait, what what red flag should this be raising? Oh, the back cover is badly burnt, yes. Is it Mr. McGilded's case? Are you thinking about Mr. McGilded's case? He died burning in the car, in the, what's it called? Carriage. Yes. The Lion's Pride. We cannot open the book.
Let me see, it's a book entitled The Lion's Pride.
I'm afraid I don't know any English literature at all, so it wouldn't be something I've heard. Wait a minute. The Lion's Pride? That's strange. I think I have heard of a book by that name before, and very recently too. What?
It's a title I recognize too, Mr. Naruhodo.
Wait, what? Where have I seen this book? Wait, what? Where would I have seen this book? At Mr. Garrett's? I don't know. Where could I have seen it?
I have nothing further to add.
What?
You seem surprised, my learned friend, but your resistance until now has been in vain. Entertaining, yes, but futile. The spurious longer route to the accused's lodgings that you tried to establish in your summation examination, and the attempted discrediting of the witness's powers of recollection in your cross-examination.
Futile? I walked right into this, didn't I?
And you see, everything we've said is true. Isn't that right, my darling?
Yes, Pat. Marry me, Pat. You're already married.
So, perhaps the ladies and gentlemen of the jury would like to reconsider their positions, should the court waste any more time on this Nipponese travesty. Or is the decision you have to make all too apparent already? You have heard all of the witnesses and seen all of the evidence.
Oh, so you played all your cards then?
This trial has run its course. Mr. Naruhodo, I'm afraid we are in a terribly precarious position.
I know, but if I fight back in the wrong way now, I could very well just make matters worse.
Think, Ryunosuke, think. What do you do now?
The infamous raise an objection. Or wait and see. Oh my god, if I wait and see, they will just say my client is guilty, right? I don't see anything wrong with everything. Okay, the only mystery for me is, what's with this book? Where have we seen it? Why does the fire damage make me feel uncomfortable? Fire damage in the snow? It belongs to the victim. We don't know the victim, right? Where would we have seen it? I honestly do not know. Rendered unconscious following a stab wounds to the back. These books are all intact. Funny how we cannot read the titles of these books. We have to raise an objection.
Objection!
I'm not done yet. No, my learned friend, it's over. That last cross-examination was a final chance to establish a credible defense, and you failed. The die has been cast, there's no more room for debate. Well, it might be over as far as you're concerned, but... I can't think of what to say.
If I may, Lord Van Zieks. Oh. It seems somewhat boorish to close down the debate at this point.
Your insignificant little Eastern Isle must be a lawless hole indeed, for a lowly judicial assistant to have the audacity to intervene at a moment like this.
Oh.
You take that back, you sexist. I am, to my shame, still a very inexperienced lawyer. So you will have to forgive me, but I consider my assistant's advice essential and her opinions invaluable.
Mr. Naruhodo.
One of this land's great guiding principles is tolerance, so the court will hear you, madam.
Go ahead, Mr. Sato, please. Very well. Pray, what insight can you give us? What have you all overlooked in this matter that you see fit to pursue further?
Well, the court has been presented with new evidence, but only after the last cross-examination finished.
I see. And you believe that this new evidence warrants further examination, do you?
Mr. Naruhodo, what do you think? It's just possible that this new evidence might be the decisive proof we've been waiting for. The judge is sure to ask the members of the jury to announce their leanings in a moment. And of course, he's sure to ask you to explain what a crucial piece of evidence is and why. So we must take this opportunity to examine the newly presented evidence as thoroughly as possible.
Yes, I understand, and thank you, Mr. Sato.
We already did it! I can't see anything else.
This is it. Sato-san has managed to win us one last chance here. I can't let it go to waste. The defense wishes to present evidence, my lord.
Very well. The defense may present one further piece of evidence. Evidence that apparently offers a profound insight into this case and has hitherto been overlooked.
Oh my god, I knew it, but what the effing F am I gonna say? What the effing F am I gonna say? What's with this fire damage? I have no idea! I keep looking at this book, and every time I can't believe how badly burned it is.
And I can't believe what a terrible waste it is. The more I look at the damage, the more I'm sure it must have happened very recently too.
A book damaged by fire very recently. Why does that seem significant somehow? Why does it seem significant? Game, tell me! Why does it seem significant?
Let me see, it's a book entitled The Lion's Pride.
Okay, this did not change. Wait a minute. The Lion's Pride? That's strange. I think I have heard of a book by that name before, and very recently too. And I just don't recognize it, just tell me what it is. I don't remember. But probably this is the vital evidence we've been looking for? I don't know. Oh, I cannot switch to the people. Okay. Well, here goes nothing.
Take that!
The evidence in question is what we can see from the newly presented photographic print of the crime scene. Oh, I didn't... The fourth book found in the victim's hand.
Objection!
We have already discussed the fourth book at length. Other than it being in the victim's grasp at the time of the incident, no significance has been attached to it. Pursuing the matter further would be a flagrant waste of the court's time as you well know.
Yes, I'm afraid, counsel, I must concur with the prosecution on this matter. When I afforded you this opportunity, you led the court to believe that the evidence in question contained a hitherto undiscovered clue. So I must insist that you elaborate, counsel. You will identify this clue at once. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, my lord. It's,
Mr. Naruhodo, I believe the prosecution is trying to avoid a thorough examination of the evidence, which means you may very well be on the right track.
Yes, I think you might be right. Oh, we're like feeling in the dark. Stumbling in the dark.
So, counsel, precisely where this is the vital clue to this case, which this fourth book conceals.
Oh god, it has to be the burnt part, but I have no idea what significance it bears. Yeah, okay. Oh wait, this changes again! The dialogue changed again.
And do you see the flicking edges of the burnt pages, Mr. Naruhodo? I think that's a sure sign that the damage occurred relatively recently.
Okay, I know that, yes, a book damage in a recent fire. Rings a bell. Okay. No, it didn't change. Rings a bell.
Got it!
I would ask the court to observe the back of the book in question.
The back? What do you... Good gracious! It's been burned to a crisp.
So we have to ask ourselves, why was the victim clutching what is clearly an unreadable book? It is undeniably an extremely unnatural thing for her to have been doing.
Objection!
Unnatural, you say? And what of it, my Nipponese friend? Why, to concede the point, if it bears no relation to the case, there is nothing to discuss. So should you wish to assert that this fire damage is some revealed clue as to what happened that day? Pray do enlighten us all. What truth does this charred book hide? A charred book. There is just one possibility here, which I can't quite bring myself to rule out. It's an outside chance, certainly, but worth a try. Alright, I'll explain my theory.
Don't keep us waiting any longer then, counsel. Explain. What are you suggesting?
Uh-oh.
That you are certain from the fire damage the sorry dome has suffered.
Uh-oh. Its owner? Its content? The shop that sold it? During our investigation, what thing burned? Well, okay, Mr. Garrideb's house burned. I mean, not the whole house, just a cabinet burned, right? Does this bear any significance to that? If so, why does the owner have it then? Is she the daughter of Mr. Garrideb? Wait, let me look at the people thing. The victim? Olive Green. Her last name is Green though. But maybe she's married? Retired army men. Garrideb's wife. Could they have a child? Olive Green? She does look somewhat like her mother. Like Joanne, I mean. But only because they're both like, how do you say it? Very stout looking. But I mean, if you take the big ears from John Garrideb and the pudgy cheeks of Joanne, you would get like this, right? Olive green? Is that it? The nose seems similar. Oh my god, the mouth. The mouth seems similar to John, while the nose seems similar to Joanne. Is that right? Okay, its owner. My lord, the burn on the back of this book reveals a startling truth about the book's owner.
I beg your pardon?
But we already know who the book belongs to. The victim was gripping it in her hands as she fell to the floor. After all, it's obviously hers.
The question of how this book came to be in the victim's hand has yet to be answered. However, as to the questions of who the book really belongs to and where it originated, I feel like this is a very large gap in reasoning that we're making here. Just because we saw a fire in our investigation at a certain moment of time does not mean it has to be that, right? The defense has very credible answers. Okay, credible answers? Okay, that's a little bit overstated.
Good gracious, how can you possibly...
Very well, I'll play along with this futile attempt to delay your inevitable demise. But do remember, the members of the jury may well burn you if your little gamble goes awry.
Counsel, the defense's response here is very likely to influence the final outcome of this trial. So tell the court, who do you claim is the owner of this burned book?
I thought it was olive green? I thought she was the daughter of the Garridebs? Maybe she borrowed a book from them? Oh my god. Do I really claim it belongs to John Garrideb? What the...
Take that!
The answer is that the book belongs to the couple who own the house where the defendant has his lodgings. A certain Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb.